Okay, I'm here with Tony Santiago from Simply. We got a lot of positive reaction from Tony's visit to the Monday morning HPM call, and he has generously volunteered some of his time to come back and explain to the HPM agents why Simply and what's hot and what's not for Simply in 2022. So with that, Tony, you're on.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Tom. So once again, let me give you guys a brief introduction. My name is Tony Santiago. I am the Central Florida Regional Sales Manager for Simply Healthcare Plans, an Anthem company. A little bit about myself, been in the industry since 2014, have been on both sides of the fence, have sold as a captive, have sold as a broker, and obviously in this management role with Simply the last few years. I will say this, the territory I encompass is large. We cover all the way from the Tampa market, Polk County in Orlando. So just to get county specific, Osceola, Orange, Seminole, Polk, and then Hillsborough, Hernando, Pasco, and Pinellas. The advantage to that is just going to be ultimately, I'm everywhere. So you're going to have me as a resource. And I know that health plan markets extension goes throughout all these counties. So we're here to support in any way. But with that being said, I want to highlight why Simply. Like, why does Simply have to be part of your portfolio? So I'm going to start with number one, which I think to me is the most important. Sense of security. And what I mean by that is we are an Anthem company. Okay. So Anthem basically dukes it out every year with United Healthcare to be 1 and 2 in overall, market share in insurance in the entire nation. So when you're putting business with Simply Healthcare, even if you haven't heard about it, you're going to a secure company. So there's no fear that Simply is going to be out of business, or is a small player, or it doesn't have the liquidity or anything to kind of keep forward. So that's really important because, as some of you may know, because you may have been in the industry, you've seen the citruses of the world disappear, the pups of the world disappear. You may have had large books of businesses with these organizations, and now they're not here anymore. So I'll give you that. You're going to see Simply. You're going to consistently see Simply in the marketplace. So that sense of security is amazing. Other reasons why, and then tying it in at the same time with what value props you need to sell, Simply, to be completely transparent, is a DSNP company. So our DSNP was a record-breaking plan, this option and this season for us, especially in the Central Florida market. So reason for number two, or why for Simply, is going to be you need to have that DSNP as part of your portfolio. A plan option that gives you zero copay for all your medical services, zero copay for your prescription medications. So let me clarify that, guys. Zero, not LIS cost share. So not $1 and change, $3 and change, $8 and change. Zero, tier 1 through tier 5 medications for all levels of Medicaid. So that includes your partials, your QI1s, your SLMBs, your QMB partials, and your full Medicaid recipients. So that's like a game changer, especially in markets where, truthfully, the market share may be dominated in some of these counties by other carriers, right? But these other carriers don't have benefits as rich as that in that space. And as an independent agent, our job is to grow our book of business. And sometimes if we default to selling the same plans all the time, and the market's already dominated by these plans, you're limiting your opportunity to put that client on your book of business. Because ultimately, yes, I want you guys to sell Simply, but the goal of it for you guys is to get them on your book of business some way and somehow and provide them that service, because that is the true essence of making the commissions that you do make. But Simply provides that, especially in that DSNP space. Also, another reason with Simply, formulary strength, and that goes across all our plans. That's something we've been known about for years. It's kind of our quiet secret sauce. Historically, medications that fall tier 3, tier 4 with other carriers fall tier 1 and tier 2 with us. Medication is a big deal. If it wasn't, it wouldn't be on Congress's legislation almost every single year. Guys, that's what they're asking for. And then lastly, another reason for us is our dental offering. Our dental offering doesn't differentiate between someone with Medicaid or just a core recipient with Medicare. Our dental's the same. We're trying to make our plan as simple, pardon the pun, to sell. So you only have to remember one line of benefit assortments in a needs analysis. So if they say dental, you can trust that across the portfolio of Simply, dental is going to be strong. So things that are included, things that stand out: implants, 2 implants at 0 copay, a deep cleaning, a root canal at 0 copay, extractions, 6 extractions, 2 fillings, 2 crowns, not just metal crowns, but porcelain crowns. Granted, is it an all-encompassing comprehensive plan? No. But, it has such an assortment. And then on top of that, on some of our plans, we throw a flex card to kind of close the gap even further. That's going to give you that sense of security in that space when you decide to place that member with Simply Healthcare. So, we're really focused on kind of, those surveys that we're hearing. Today's Medicare recipient is more educated than ever before. And the services that they're looking for are the key services that you see everybody asking for: dental, prescription drugs. And those are kind of the strength of Simply. And then lastly, I will say this, and this is kind of subjective, guys. It's not objective, but in my personal opinion, the service level that you're going to get with Simply Healthcare is top notch. And I pride myself in saying that. And that's kind of my little arrogant salesperson side. So everyone, please forgive me. But I do feel like I am the best RSM in the industry right now. I'm probably the most responsive. If you send me a phone call, you send me an email, I pretty much get to everybody pretty frequently. And then on top of that, if there's troubleshooting, if there's marketing opportunities, I'm not afraid to sit down and brainstorm. And that doesn't include just at the higher levels of your agencies, for those of you who run agencies, because agency marketing may be completely different from traditional grassroots marketing. But I'm a resource. So don't be afraid to, if you see a Simply training, to jump on. And even that goes for experienced and brand new people to the industry. Because if you're not reinventing yourself, if you're not looking always for some sales acquisition opportunities, eventually the nature of this business is your book of business will deplete. So if you're not consistently looking ways to reinvent yourself and to have different things on your portfolio, you're going to be very limited. So Tom, I guess that would be the simplest explanation. And again, guys, pardon the pun, why Simply Healthcare and some of their strengths in our marketplace.
Hey, Tony, do you have any suggestions for agents to take actions to take early in the year, both with their book of business and setting goals to accomplish during the year to be a successful external agent in the market?
Absolutely. So goal number one, and this is a best practice that I was taught, if you're not handing out 50 business cards a day to everyone, then you're missing out on opportunities. Why? Because everyone is a prospect. So that leads me to misnomer number 2. Sometimes we focus on the quote unquote gray hair individual, but everyone's a prospect. My youngest member on my book of business when I used to write business was 18 years old. And that person probably walked by 1,000 agents because he lived in Kissimmee. And we know how saturated the market can be in parts of Kissimmee. But everybody assumed that he wasn't a Medicare recipient. The idea is this: referrals are the most secure business, right? So if you literally take those opportunities to hand out those, then it becomes a numbers game. So let's say it equates to 10,000 contacts. The law of averages, the law of numbers say that you're going to run into probably 300 sales opportunities. The other thing is this, to Tom's point, every day is AEP. So every connection that we make, a closed sale, a consent to contact, don't disregard that person. That person needs to stay as part of your CRM. It needs to stay as part of your contacts, because you may have reached out to them with a birthday card. You may have reached out to them with a phone call, and then you still build that relationship. And then maybe there's some market shift. Like, let's say Simply Healthcare hands out Lamborghinis in next AEP. That might be something that person can't resist. So the fact that you've made that contact and still followed up with them throughout the year provides you that opportunity to eventually close the sale. At the end of the day, we don't sell products in this industry. We're all benefit educators across all lines of business, but we sell trust. And our job is to sell that trust to the individual that, hey, I'm not doing this for the money or just for a commission. I'm doing this to truly help you. I'm doing this to truly get referrals out of it. And in the end of it all, yes, am I going to be compensated? Yeah, but good business will be compensated. So absolutely that all those consent to contacts that you acquire, start to establish that. You want to have, going into AEP, minimum 200 consent to contacts. So the reason why is, if you have all these consent to contacts, you start calling those people in September and start setting your AEP appointments October 1st. Don't wait till October 15th. Get them that information as soon as you possibly can out in front of them. And then that'll lead you to the opportunity to close those sales. You know, the key aspect of that is always be ahead of the curve. So during AEP, you know, you're running business. And then once the OEP is going to be an extension of the AEP, but at the same time, you're starting to market for your dual SNPs going into the rest of the lock-in period. So those would be some figures to kind of throw out and some expected goals to set up for your business. But I think truly, once you go through, because remember, this is also a grind industry. So you can't expect today to tomorrow success. I was always taught all your activities today will actually produce some sort of fruition in 3 months. So like what I always tell agents, if you're suffering today, something 3 months ago, you weren't working hard enough, or 3 months ago, you didn't do the activity necessary to produce results today. So if you start working today, just keep that in mind, that in May is when you're probably going to see the results for all your actions. Okay. But I guess those would give you some timelines, some figures, and some ideas to success for, you know, the whole year in the industry.
Tony, thanks for the advice and the insight. And one last thing, I'm betting that the Simply people internally, the carrier, is planning and analyzing and getting the move forward for AEP 22.
I would agree with you 100%. Tom, we've been working on benefit design for 2023 and 2024 already. And to echo your sentiment, and I tell this to every training class, even if you're not familiar, get familiar with the product now in the process, because going into next AEP and the following AEP, you won't be able to ignore it. And you don't want to spend next year learning about the product when you already have your competition, which is other brokers, already selling the product. But yes, I would agree there.
And we have Simply on our HPM shop. It couldn't be easier to track your clients, to enroll your clients, to quote your clients, to educate yourself or your clients. So Simply is a wonderful opportunity. We have the tools. Simply has great tools. They have Tony for training as well, and internal, and a great place to be for 22 and beyond. So thanks.